by 31 points came against the Denver Nuggets. Tonight is the lone appearance of the season of the Knicks and Patrick Ewing. Ewing is just about the only thing that has been going well for the Knicks this year. They are among the major disappointments in the NBA.
Well, Ewing will once again be the starting center for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. A great game last night in Utah, and if the Nuggets are to win tonight, they're going to have to find a way to slow down Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks come in 3 games under the 500 mark, and they were going nowhere fast, but seem to have put it together of late. They have won their last 3 games, 2 of them on the road. Last night in Utah by 15. They won in Philadelphia. John McLeod doing some shaking up in the lineup, inserting Quinnett at a forward and Starks in the backcourt, and that seemed to do it for the Knicks.
Yeah, well, he brings Gerald Wilkins, Kiki Vanderway, Mark Jackson off the bench. 3 pretty good players to have over there sitting next to you.
And it's, you know, when you take a look at these two teams, the Nuggets coming in a rebuilding season, and, you know, earlier in the year, this team was playing very hard. The Knicks, on the other hand, such great expectations and were lost on the floor, and really more difficult for New York fans to accept what the Knicks were doing this year. We'll be ready to go from McNichols Arena. The Nuggets against the Knicks coming up next on PSN.
Tonight's starting lineups are being brought to you by Die Hard Battery. Now with more power when you need it most.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to McNichols Arena for tonight's National Basketball Association game between the New York Knicks and your Denver Nuggets.
Introductions of the lineups. First for the New York Knicks, and this is their first and only trip in, so you'll look at everybody. Trent Tucker, senior member. Mark Jackson, wondering whether he will be traded in the next couple of days or weeks, and that's his opinion about it. Gerald Wilkins now coming off the bench. He had 25 to lead the Knicks against the Nuggets in New York. Kenny Walker, who challenged all of Dan Issel's records at Kentucky. The rookie out of Maryland, Gerard Mustaf, first-round draft pick. Eddie Lee Wilkins comes back from a hyperextended left elbow, played his first game back last night. Kiki Vanderway did not play last night in the win against Utah, the former Nugget. Hearing it from the crowd, he's been out with the lower back problem that has plagued him for the last several years. And now the starting lineup for the Knicks, John Starks, an alumnus of the CBA. And 12-year veteran Maurice Cheeks, the point guard for the Knicks. Patrick will have to wait, very anxious to get out there. Brian Quinnett, second year out of Washington State, has started the last 4 games. Charles Oakley, 16 boards against Karl Malone last night. Patrick Ewing almost got into a scuffle with Karl Malone, but he came out with 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 blocked shots, career high. In his 18th season as a coach in the NBA, John McLeod took over December 3rd for Stu Jackson, a Knick team that was 6-8, and under McLeod they have won 11 and lost 13, winning their last 3 in a row. And now we go cross court. And the introduction of the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have won 3 of the last 4 games here at home. The ever-changing look of the Nuggets roster, who will have just 9 players dressed for tonight. Orlando Woolridge was activated, but he will not play until around the All-Star break, probably after. But you have to have 11 players activated, and Woolridge was so. Reggie Williams, the recent pickup, who has been playing extremely well, and he is back in the starting lineup. He had 21 against Minnesota the other night. Anthony Cook, the rookie, who has been banging the boards, 11 rebounds a game over the last 10. Blair Rasmussen in the middle. He missed the first game in New York against Patrick Ewing of the Knicks. Todd Lichty back in the starting lineup, with Walter Davis gone to Portland, and Michael Adams, who is the 12th leading scorer in the NBA, 24 points a game, will be at the point guard. Paul Westhead, whose team has won 9 and lost 30, There you see Orlando Woolridge, and next to him, a well-dressed Cadillac Anderson, who arrived in town today. He still has to go through the process of physicals before he could be dressed, and we look for Cadillac Anderson to make his Nugget debut Saturday night here at McNichols against the Utah Jazz. Second meeting and final one of the season. Back in January 3rd, the Knicks and the Nuggets. The Nuggets took 26 more shots than the Knicks that night, but lost by 27. Gerald Wilkins high for the Knicks. Michael Adams high for the Nuggets.
And the biggest reason that the Nuggets lost that game by 27 points, Al, they shot, the Nuggets did, just 38% from the floor. And it's hard to get a read on the individual statistics because with the big lead, a lot of the Knicks playing only half the game. Kiki played 30 minutes, but Ewing, Cheeks, and Gerald Wilkins all only playing 28 minutes in that first game.
This is the second of a 5-game road trip for the Knicks. They go on to Phoenix on Saturday, Golden State Monday, and Los Angeles to face the Clippers on Tuesday. Much trade rumors surrounding the New York Knicks ball club, as you might imagine, a team that was supposed to be battling the Celtics in Philadelphia for the top spot in the Atlantic Division. Instead, 18-21, 3 under the 500 mark. And Reggie Williams, who goes head-to-head with his former Georgetown teammate Patrick Ewing, sinks a 2.
And Reggie getting a lot of confidence over the last 5 games, shooting 55% from the field, and that's outstanding when you realize he's been taking shots from about that distance.
He has to work inside against the bigger Brian Quinnett, who's at 6'8", 235, and Quinnett ties it up. Adams takes it right to Cheeks. Starks guarding Lichty. And Cook gets away from Ewing.
Nice start by Anthony Cook. He wins the opening jump against Patrick Ewing, and a nice ball and head fake there, and Ewing was up in the air, and the easy bucket by Anthony.
The Knicks have Oakley guarding Rasmussen and Ewing on Cook. John Starks way off the mark, and it's snatched by Anthony Cook. Adams fires it ahead to Williams. Rasmussen pulls the trigger.
And that's a good sign because Blair really had an off game against the Timberwolves Monday afternoon. A season low 4 points for Rasmussen, and it's always good when you come off that type of game to get that first shot to go down.
Cheeks looking inside to Quinnett. And here comes Adams flying. He has Williams, who goes in. The foul is called.
And we saw that pass down at the other end go astray. They're trying to dump it inside to Ewing, and that was the impression that I had the first time that the Nuggets played the Knicks. Even though New York won by 27 points, they kind of look, Al, like they haven't seen each other before they show up at the gym. No chemistry whatsoever.
Reggie Williams will have one more shot. 84% shooter from the foul line. Williams in the last 5 games has averaged 17 points per.
Yeah, that 9.3 is Reggie's total for the year, counting his time at San Antonio. He's averaging 14 points.
Crowd wants the foul on Starks. Ewing gets his first bucket. John McLeod wants the Knicks to start looking more and more for Patrick Ewing to pound it inside again to the big man. And he wants his team running a little more. And he wants his team, as Dan alluded to come to play every night. That has not been the story. There's a push by Quinnett. He gets away with it. And inside, the foul is called against the Knicks. Patrick Ewing gets number 1. The burden on those large shoulders trying to carry these Knicks. Of course, in the NBA situation, the Knicks still have a half a year to try to turn things around and go strong into the playoffs. And when you have Ewing on your team, you know that is certainly an option. Adams for 3. Swish. Off balance for Michael Adams, and he goes downtown for the 62nd time this year.
Michael came off that pick and lost control of the ball a little bit. It got down on the palm.
Ewing, who has developed a beautiful offense as a New York Knick. Of course, you remember the Secretary of Defense as a Hoya. Nice pass by Adams. Cannot get Michael an assist. Now it's Cheeks flying out for the Knicks. He stops, he pops, and he hits.
Well, Maurice Cheeks doesn't take an awful lot of jumpers, but he's accurate when he does. A 51% field goal shooter so far this season, and Paul Westhead needs to make an adjustment here. He's seen something. He takes the 22nd timeout.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the first quarter. The Nuggets had jumped out to an 11-4 lead. They are playing with 9 men dressed tonight. The Knicks got off to a great start last night against Utah, beating the Jazz in Utah 109-94.
Here's that Ewing dunk. Looked like a charge right there on Starks. Blair stood in there and held his ground, but no call. And Patrick with the thunderous dunk. Pretty good shooting by both teams so far to start the game.
Ewing held just 20 points against the Nuggets in their first outing, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that it was a runaway. Patrick did not see his normal minutes in his 6th season out of Georgetown. Nuggets with Woolridge sitting on the bench in his street clothes, and Cadillac Anderson next to Orlando. Anderson spending just 1 week as a New Jersey Net, coming over from Milwaukee last week, and he's all smiles being here in Denver. Either that or Orlando trying out a few of his lines on Cadillac. Williams gets back, but Quinnett takes it away. He traveled, and there's the call by Dick Bavetta. Dick Bavetta, the crew chief tonight, working with Jimmy Clark and Mike Costabile. Cadillac Anderson was traded from Milwaukee to New Jersey for Lester Connor. Rasmussen with Oakley out on him. Cook. One thing, Rasmussen with Oakley on Rasmussen, it does take Oakley away from the basket for rebounds on that end of the floor. Brian Quinnett, who last year averaged 1 point a game, and now in the starting lineup, has 4 tonight. Adams looks for his second 3. Knicks with a basket here could take the lead. And they do.
And that's the shot that Oakley's been making on the road. He does have a nice rotation, nice release, but assistant coach Paul Silas telling me when he shoots that shot in the Garden, everybody starts buzzing, and he really tenses up on it.
That's the 3. Knicks have scored 8 straight points. Remember when the Nuggets were up 11-4? 4 minutes in, the Knicks have to wait for Patrick Ewing to get down. Lichty ties up Cheeks, who makes the move. And the foul is called on Todd Lichty.
Well, you're absolutely right with Oakley guarding Rasmussen. That has taken him away from the basket, and he's averaging over 12 rebounds a game. But that leaves Ewing underneath with Anthony Cook, and Ewing getting every rebound so far. 4 already, not even halfway through the first quarter.
Dan, you alluded to Oakley having the problem when he takes those shots at Madison Square Garden, the fans buzzing, getting on him. And take a look at the Nuggets or the Knicks breakdown. They have a better record on the road than they do at home. 9-9 on the road, 9-12 at the Garden.
Well, that was the point that Silas was making. He said the crowd in Madison Square Garden has been so critical that this club, New York, is much more comfortable, much more relaxed playing on the road.
As Rodney Dangerfield would say, tough crowd, tough crowd. Knicks continue on their streak until Reggie Williams swings in, and 6 points for Williams. Now you remember the Nuggets did not give up anything for Williams, who was the 4th pick in the draft when he came out of Georgetown. And the Nuggets may be reaping the great dividends that 3 other clubs have not.
Well, Brian Quinnett is 6'8", but he's a much better player from the perimeter than he is inside. He certainly demonstrated that, and he comes away with the steal.
16-13, the Knicks lead by 3. 7-11 remaining. Starks for 3. Williams looking for the outlet, now finds Adams. 4 Knicks come back. The block by Ewing. Crowd wants the goaltend. 3-on-1 for New York. A timeout is taken with 6:53 left in the first.
and the Denver Nuggets and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed or written permission of the NBA, the Nuggets, and Prime Sports Network is prohibited.
You be the official, goaltending or not. Was the ball on the...
I think if you can get up and block a shot that far above the rim, you deserve a block.
Yeah, that's what the officials thought on that play. So Cheeks gets back to the foul line. NBA's all-time leader in steals, ranked number 7 all-time in assists. Closing out his career in a New York uniform, but it was costly for the Knicks, giving up Rod Strickland in the trade with San Antonio. Knicks lead it by 5. Adams gets by Cheeks, tries to get it over Ewing, and Cheeks through the legs of Rasmussen. Here's Quinnett. Brian Quinnett having an all-time first quarter.
And I'll tell you another thing that block shot did was it'll cause Michael to think every time he goes in there. Quinnett on the fast break, the foul right there by Marcus Liberty. The ball doesn't go, but Quinnett with 2 free throws.
Quinnett, the 2nd round draft pick last year, 50th pick in the draft out of Washington State, sat on the bench most of last season. But John McLeod shaking things up 4 games ago, inserted Quinnett in the starting lineup, and he is off to his best start. 3 starts. He's only averaged 4 points a game in 16 minutes. But he has 7 here in the first quarter. He's outscored every other Knick. And he's the high man in the game. Marcus Liberty getting some early time, lets it fly. Lichty. And he is held. Starks was there. And that's the foul, 2nd on Starks.
Liberty only got 8 minutes of playing time Monday against the Timberwolves, but 8 points in those 8 minutes, and was very instrumental in a 19-2 run that brought the Nuggets back into that game after the Timberwolves had gotten an early 18-point lead.
Well, now John McLeod could take out the John Starks and the Brian Quinnetts with the lead and come in with guys like Wilkins and Jackson, but Wilkins is the first man off in the backcourt. And Wilkins salivates at the thought of playing the Nuggets in the wide open game. He is not a half-court player. Rasmussen, quick turnaround. He gets it again. Swish.
And give Anthony Cook an assist on that one. He was the one who got in there between Ewing and Oakley and kept that ball alive for Rasmussen.
Knicks have outscored the Nuggets 15-4 since the Nuggets led 11-4 in the opening minutes. Rasmussen got a piece of the hand of Ewing, and still Patrick hit it. .5:20 left in the first. Wilkins now guarding Williams. Sneaks in. Wilkins comes up with it. And he is fouled. Brian Quinnett has a chance now to be in double figures in the first quarter.
Nice job by Mo Cheeks of running this fast break. They get the ball to the middle. He brings it right to the free throw line and drops it over to Quinnett. Nice hesitation here. Allows Liberty and Cook to go by. The basket counts and the foul on Marcus Liberty.
Brian Quinnett at 6'8", 235. Jerome Lane coming in and looks thrilled about that.
Jerome not a happy camper these days, complaining publicly the other day about his lack of playing time, and Bernie Bickerstaff relieved Jerome of $500 for his comments.
Well, when he gets in there, he's got to now try to make the most of it. Swish, Rasmussen. 24-17, the Knicks leading it by 7.
And I think the veterans are the ones that are going to have to step up and take the place of Walter Davis's 19 points a game, especially Blair in the middle.
Wilkins for 2. Rasmussen finds the outlet to Adams. Behind him it's Ewing who pokes it away. Back they come. Cheeks, Wilkins calling for the ball, but Cheeks was waiting for the trailer. Kenny Walker. Foul on Blair Rasmussen.
And again, just a great job by a veteran point guard running the fast break. He knew that he had the wing covered by Jerome on the left side, so he waits for Walker to fill the lane on the right side. Kenny Walker misses, but will go to the free throw line, where he's a 75% free throw shooter.
And a former slam dunk champion. Walker's been bothered with a knee injury, missed the first month and a half of the season. He also has been one of the players widely mentioned in trade rumors, not as widely mentioned as Mark Jackson. Matter of fact, the Knicks on this trip and the trade winds swirling once again with the Jackson possible deal involving the Los Angeles Clippers. Williams, and it's 8 points for Williams. Danny Manning has been mentioned as a possible trade bait from the Clippers, possibly going to the Knicks in an expanded deal of multiplayer proportions. Tucker is now in, of course, one of the great three-point shooters in NBA history, but not seeing much time under John McLeod.
And that's about as close as Trent Tucker will get to the basket or get to any kind of contact. He likes to stay out on the perimeter and launch those bombs.
Adams against Jackson. He beats him, looking for Lane.
Good defensive play by Gerald Wilkins, helping out on Jerome underneath.
Tucker wide open. And that's for two. Trent Tucker, last night, he did play 25 minutes against Utah and hit double figures with 10. This tonight is a Big East All-Star game. There's Adams from Boston College, past Jackson from St. John's. There's Georgetown's Reggie Williams, and the Nuggets to beat Georgetown's Ewing. 3-on-1. Jackson has many options, and Williams has his second foul.
Well, under normal circumstances, that would have been a bad play by Wilkins because he passed off, but it doesn't matter in this situation because the Nuggets are in the penalty situation, 5 team fouls, so there'll be free throws awarded anyway.
The Knicks have called a timeout with 3:19 to go in the first quarter at McNichols Arena, and the Knicks with the lead.
This is never going to work. Hey, relax. Anybody can send them roses.
It's 11-4 in favor of the Nuggets in the opening minutes. Since that time, the Nuggets have been able to score only 8 points in the last, 7-8 minutes. And they have been outscored by the Knicks 26-8 following those 2 foul shots by Gerald Wilkins.
And as we said earlier, the Nuggets shot 38% from the field in Madison Square Garden so far tonight. 38%.
Jerome Lane lets it fly. He's off the mark. Swept away by Marcus Liberty. 3 minutes left in the first. Adams is off the mark. And the Skywalker goes sky high for that rebound. Actually, it's been about miscalculation here, about 4 or 5 minutes. The Nuggets have been held to just 8 points. Still substantial enough of a statistic.
Illegal defense against the Nuggets. New York trying to take advantage of the matchup. Michael Adams guarding Mark Jackson. And the help came a little early. That's the first one against the Nuggets.
Knicks have Jackson and Wilkins in the backcourt. Ewing remains at center. Tucker and Walker. Jerome Lane gets it out to Adams. It's Adams with Williams, Liberty, Lane, and Joe Wolf. Nice play by Jerome Lane as he sneaks inside.
And that type of effort by Jerome will get him additional playing time.
Coming off an 8-minute performance against Minnesota on Monday. 2:15 left in the first. Al Albert along with the horse Dan Issel at McNichols Arena, where the Nuggets will be Saturday night against Karl Malone and John Stockton of the Utah Jazz. Williams double team. Adams squeezes inside and gift wraps to Liberty.
That was now standing pass by Michael, because right now the Knicks defense is just all caved back in the middle, waiting for the Nuggets to beat them from the outside.
Pushing and shoving now going on between Joe Wolf and Patrick Ewing. Dick Bavetta, though, right on the scene and catches Wolf. So Joe Wolf gets his first foul. Starting Saturday as Chris Jackson comes in for the Nuggets, another man who has been seeing Jerome Lane-like minutes, replacing Michael Adams. Starting Saturday, some more versatility on the Nuggets bench with Cadillac Anderson, a big body who will be able to play some of that backup center role going up against the guys like Ewing. Let's go to Drew Goodman.
All right, Al, thanks very much. Paul Westhead in his last huddle was a little angrier than I've seen him in quite some time. He said, we can beat this team, but we have to get back in transition on defense, and we have to go out and play people. He was talking in particular about Trent Tucker's wide-open 20-footer a few series ago.
Ewing's 2 foul shots gives the Knicks an 11-point bulge. Now Jackson versus Jackson. Jackson over Walker. What a shot. With a bigger Walker right in his face. Jackson heaves it up and scores his first shot of the night. Nuggets trying to whittle away and come within 7.
Well, with Michael starting out 1 for 8 from the field, the Nuggets need a contribution from Jackson.
Knicks get that contribution from their Jackson, who had 17 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds in half a game against Utah last night. Mark Jackson, the New York product out of St. John's, storybook in his first 2 years, but nightmares the last couple. Todd Lichty is back in as the Nuggets give Reggie Williams a rest. He's the high man with 8 points for Denver.
And the Knicks make a move as the Lakers win in Charlotte. Eddie Lee Wilkins now in the post as Patrick Ewing gets his first blow. Inside
the final minute of the first quarter, Liberty is shoved by Tucker. Tucker just could not keep up with that quick move by Marcus Liberty. And Trent Tucker has his first personal foul.
And the Nuggets also in the bonus situation, so Marcus Liberty will go to the free throw line. Marcus struggled from the line somewhat this year, just a 64% free throw shooter.
The Nuggets right now tied with the Orlando Magic in the bottom of the Midwest. Orlando does not play tonight, so the Nuggets have the opportunity tonight to move out of the cellar with a victory. Right now, Nuggets trail by 7. Mark Jackson on the fast break. Wilkins gives it up to Wilkins. No relation. Now Joe Wolf after the strip. Lichty, the hard drive, and with the left hand. Wilkins 3-on-1, but several Nuggets hustle back. Jackson. Joe Wolf thought he had all ball, but no, says the referee. Jimmy Clark calls the foul on Wolf.
We'll get a chance to take another look at it. A wild pass by Wilkins. Mark Jackson goes up. And I don't know. The crowd here might have been right, Al.
Mark Jackson, Rookie of the Year, 3rd in the league in assists, 6th in steals, breaking Oscar Robertson's assist record for a rookie. 2nd year, climbed to all-star proportions. And ever since that time, perhaps has it gone to his head?
Well, his lackadaisical play, I think, kind of coincided with the signing of a new long-term contract as well.
Swaggering with an arrogance on the floor, but now he's in a new role. Walker displays a little bit of his slam dunk proficiency, and John McLeod a standing ovation for the hustle of Kenny Walker. When Walker came in, high draft pick, replacing Bernard King, so much was expected of him, especially offensively, but now he has found his niche as a defensive player, real hustler. Joe Wolf keeps it alive. And got away with one, pushing off and hitting. 38-29 in favor of the New York Knicks. A block by Lichty. The Knicks had beating the Nuggets 135-108 in New York early in January. That was a Knicks season high in points.
Haven't the officials decided it's impossible to get off a shot in 1/10 of a second?
Regardless, Paul Westhead puts in Anthony Cook for Jerome Lane. And that rule was inserted in that game in which Trent Tucker, who just inbounds, hit the three-pointer with 1/10 of a second left against the Chicago Bulls to win a game. And it was proven afterward that that is virtually, well, let's take away the virtually. It is impossible.
College basketball, 1989-1990. It was a year of excitement on Prime.
At the horn, Zuber for three. The Aggies win it.
Now, the tradition continues with dominating stars and high-powered attacks from the nation's top conferences. The Pac-10, Big 8, Metro, and Southwest conferences begin a barrage that'll last all season on Prime Network. Available on most Prime Network affiliates.
On PSN, Al Albert along with Dan Issel. After one period of play, the Nuggets trailing the Knicks by 9. It was a very quick start by Denver. Out in front 11-4, but John McLeod rallying his troops back outscored the Nuggets 34-18 over the course of the last 8.5 minutes. Starting the second period, Knicks with the ball, and Tucker sinks it.
One thing you can be assured of, and Tucker, that is Tucker will not stop shooting. He's a scorer, and he'll shoot it no matter how many he's missed.
He'll shoot even more now that he's getting playing time. There's the steal by Lichty. Tucker trying to earn more and more time. Carried by Todd Lichty. He scores his first field goal of the night.
Well, Todd's been struggling, but the reason is, Al, he's still not totally healthy. That knee really bothering him. You can see the sleeve on the left knee, and the ankle, which he sprained 3 or 4 weeks ago, still not totally healed.
Knicks by 9. Patrick Ewing resting on the bench. Tucker, goes down hard. Nuggets go with the ball and work the break. Here is Lichty flying in for the reverse. Crashing in was Kenny Walker, and he is nailed for his second personal foul.
Go back to the other end and take a look at that drive by Tucker. Goes down hard and just loses the basketball. Not a nick in the area.
I think the only nick was to the back of Tucker's head. Well, Brian Quinnett, who started in the first quarter, comes in. Kenny Walker goes out, followed by Gerald Wilkins. Oakley is also in the lineup for the Knicks. So they have Wilkins and Tucker, Oakley, Quinnett, and Eddie Lee Wilkins. Jackson and Tucker in the backcourt. Cook way off the mark. We're a minute 15 into the second quarter. Jackson on the move. Wolf starts it off, and here is Chris Jackson with Lichty and Liberty. Give me Liberty, says Jackson, and Cook smacks it home.
Cook's been doing an outstanding job on the boards. He's been in double figures rebound-wise 8 of the last 10 games, and a turnover by New York. Liberty with a little spin move, but Cook keeps coming, taking nothing for granted, and gets the jam. Another angle, the pass by Chris Jackson, and the slam by Anthony.
The inbounds happened so quickly, but I believe Eddie Lee Wilkins stepped over the end line trying to get it in, and Wilkins now goes out. More substitutions for John McLeod. Will set it up. The Knicks now back with their starting lineup. Starks and Cheeks in the backcourt, Ewing at center, Oakley and Quinnett at the forwards. Nuggets have a chance to move to within 5. Jackson fires, swish. Chris Jackson, he had 21 in New York in his first meeting against the Knicks. And Denver now just 5 back. Biggest lead for the Knicks was 11. Cheeks didn't really get set. Joe Wolf doing a nice job on the boards. The bullet pass to Liberty, but he outruns it. And now Starks back the other way with Oakley and Cheeks. Wolf slaps it away, goes after it, and cannot save. Now Wolf is saying it last touched a Nick.
Yeah, I'm sure that Joe Wolf thought it did last touch a Nick because he kind of gave up on that ball at the end. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, it did hit Oakley right on the shoulder, and watch, Joe Wolf knows that, and he gives up on the ball at the end, knowing it'll be Nuggets basketball.
Dick Pavetta agreeing with Joe Wolf, who has a future ahead of him as a referee. As we saw here after further review, Joe Wolf is correct. So the Nuggets on a roll, trying to get back into this one, looking for their 8th win at home this year.
And this is about the same spot that the Nuggets went on the run against the Timberwolves to crawl back in that game. A nice shot by Lichty, and it was basically this same group of people that made that run. Joe Wolf and Marcus Liberty playing big roles.
8 straight now for the Nuggets. Liberty, though, takes a seat for Reggie Williams. Cheeks snaps the Nuggets' 8-point streak. 42-37 in favor of the Knicks. 9.5 left in the first half. Gwinnett out on Williams. Wolf lets it fly. Swish. Joe Wolf scores his first field goal, but he has been doing a lot more. 5 rebounds for Wolf.
Joe, another one who's getting his confidence shooting-wise. Over the last 6 games, he's been shooting 55% from the field.
Run down by Lichty. Here are the Nuggets flying out. Lichty pitches it off to Williams. He fires. Got it. 10 points for Reggie Williams, and the Nuggets are 1 back. And the Knicks want a timeout. Cheeks brings it across. Here's it from Coach John McLeod. The Nuggets on a roll. Once down by 11. Now 1 point behind the Knicks.
Went to the fight capital of the world and asked the fans, who's the greatest heavyweight ever?
By far, it's Muhammad Ali.
Way to reward yourself after the game, win or lose, is with the clean, crisp taste of a Beechwood-aged Budweiser. Yeah, this Bud's for you.
And a reminder, stay tuned at the end of the game, because Dan and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. 10 points for Reggie Williams, who leads the Nuggets in scoring. 10 points for Brian Quinnett, who leads the Knicks in scoring. Quinnett doing it all in the first quarter. Ewing, it is a patented move for Patrick, and he has 10.
And you can see where the Knicks go when they need a basket, right inside to their all-star, Patrick Ewing.
44-41. The Knicks lead it by 3. Reggie Williams trying to make his move on Quinnett. And Dick Bavetta calls the foul against the Nuggets on a wraparound. And that will be number 3 on Williams.
And Reggie really protesting that call, but we'll take another look at it. Watch his left hand. He got it wrapped around the waist of Quinnett. And that's an offensive foul.
The best thing going for the Nuggets so far, gets hit with his 3rd. Knicks with the ball. Working on a 3-game win streak. They won last year here in Denver. Starks lets it fly. And he even took a bump from Lichty on the shot. First basket for John Starks. Nuggets had creeped to within 1. The Knicks have come back with the last 2 hoops. Adams gets in trouble. Still loose. And it's last touched by Michael Adams.
And you can see right there the the Knicks defense really back in the paint. They're going to take away that slashing, penetrating move by Michael and make the Nuggets beat him from the outside.
7:50 left in the first half. Paul Westhead staying with Reggie Williams with the 3 fouls. So the Knicks go inside.
And that's exactly what you didn't need. But because before Jerome Lane could check in, Reggie Williams comes away with his 4th personal foul, and I'm sorry, Jerome was not coming in for Williams. Williams still on the floor with 4 personals now.
And 7:39 still left in the second. Rasmussen gets it out to Adams, flying into the hands of Williams. Well, maybe they want him to get 1 more basket. Dozen points now for Reggie Williams, who has gone from a bench player in San Antonio to now the leading scorer for the Nuggets. 12 points. The steal by Rasmussen overplays Ewing. Here is Jerome Lane. Back pass to Adams for 3. Run down by Cheeks. Here we go the other way. Reggie Williams remains on the floor with 4 fouls, although Chris Jackson is now reported to the scorer's table, ready to come in. Ewing, the double team, leaves Quinnett open for 3. Swish. Brian Quinnett goes downtown, and he has 13 points to lead all scorers. And Paul Westhead calls a timeout. Nuggets down by as many as 11, creeped to within 1 just moments ago. But now the Knicks have taken the 6-point lead. 49-43 is the score, and there's the time remaining in the second quarter.
Very angry with his troops for allowing that 11-point lead to dissipate. He said, we got to pound it inside, play the two-man game, pat, kick it out if it's not there when they W. And the last couple of possessions, that's exactly what the Knicks have done. And they've opened up that 1-point lead back up to 6. Al?
Tough night for Drew, going from one angry bench to the other. Hope things will get a little more pleasant as this night goes on. 49-43, the Knicks lead it by 6. Michael Adams has been held to but one field goal in the first half. That was a 3. Jackson fakes out Starks, then is picked up by Ewing, and a nice find by Jackson. He saw Cook open away from Ewing. Lane gets back, and he makes the steal. Here come the Nuggets, led by Adams. Jackson, that's all the room he needs. Jerome Lane gobbles it in, and the fans respond. Rasmussen over Ewing, and it's number 2 on Patrick Ewing, and the Nuggets will hear it from the crowd.
And what great vision by Michael Adams. He was looking out at Chris Jackson, who was out at the top of the key, and somehow found Blair wide open cutting down the lane.
Had a look at Patrick Ewing after penetrating questions from Nick announcer Marv Albert. Just the sweat beaming. And that's enough for Patrick. He goes out with his second personal foul and having a casual conversation with Dick Pavetta. So the Nuggets have moved to within 3 points.
Well, you can talk to the officials, but one thing they hate is when you're that demonstrative. You better not to get your arms up in the air flailing away, or you'll have yourself a technical in a heartbeat.
Knicks were up by as many as 11. Oakley again from afar. Swish. Charles Oakley gets his second field goal. Both long jumpers hitting nothing but net. Whipped inside by Adams. Jerome Lane. And Jerome Lane, who played just 8 minutes against Minnesota on Monday, coming back strong here in the first half.
And Jerome has 3 baskets, all 3 of them on offensive rebounds.
6 points, 5 rebounds for Lane. Oakley again. And there's Lane getting his 6th rebound. Revving it up is Adams. He has Cheeks backtracking. Adams hits, and the Nuggets have tied it at 51.
It's a little easier for Michael to slash to the basket when Patrick Ewing is sitting over next to John McLeod.
5 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first half. Now the crowd coming alive. Dick Pavetta waves it off and says it is against the Knicks.
Call is going against Eddie Lee Wilkins. Dick Pavetta saying he elbowed Blair, Blair on the low post. Offensive foul.
The chant from the crowd. The Nuggets have won 3 of their last 4 at home. Playing with just 9 players tonight. Waiting Cadillac Anderson to report tomorrow after his physical. He's here on the bench watching tonight. Nuggets moving the ball around. Turnaround by Rasmussen, and Quinnett on the rebound. He's doing it all. Oakley this time on the drive. And he's wrapped up by several Nuggets on the play.
And that call is going to go against Joe Wolf, and that's his 3rd personal. Oakley gets Blair running to him and goes baseline right there. The foul by Wolf. And Charles Oakley will go to the free throw line. Outstanding free throw shooter is Charles Oakley. 85% for the season.
Oakley, another player of many around the league whose eyes are wide open when they face the Nuggets. Last year, his season high of 24 against Denver. Oakley studies the basket. Could have sworn that it moved on him. Jerome Lane comes out, gets a nice hand from the crowd. In his 6th season from Virginia Union. Native of Cleveland, was picked in the first round by the Cavaliers and then draft day traded to Chicago.
And the 4th leading rebounder in the entire NBA behind Elijah Robinson and Karl Malone.
12 per game for Oakley. He's had 16 per in his last 2. Never meant to be for Marcus Liberty. But the loose ball foul is called against the Knicks. 4.5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Brian Quinnett gets the personal. That is his 1st. And the Nuggets staging a comeback here in the second. There's a steal by Cheeks, who has more steals than anyone in the history of the league. Oakley, that wasn't an outside shot. Smashes it in. Number 32 for the Knicks, Gerard Mustaf, the #1 draft pick from Maryland. Left Maryland after his sophomore season. He's now on the floor. Adams, the shot put. Rasmussen against Oakley, and it's off of Blair and out of bounds. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Anthony Cook reports back in for the Nuggets.
And Todd Lichty as well as Chris Jackson and Joe Wolf head for the bench.
Blair Rasmussen, who has just dropped out of the top 10, just hovering around that in rebounds. Brian Quinnett trying to open up his game, getting loads of confidence. He has already scored a season high. He had the season high by the end of the first quarter. 10 points in the first period for Quinnett. Broke his season high by 1. Marcus Liberty becomes the third Nugget to hit 3 or more personal fouls. Liberty and Wolf each have 3. Reggie Williams has 4.
And that is not a good sign because only 9 Nuggets in uniform here tonight. So a big problem starting to develop for Paul Westhead.
And the Nuggets not getting the scoring out of Michael Adams. So here's the Nuggets' first game without Walter Davis. Adams, who scores 24 a game, has but 2 field goals. But Denver hanging in against the Knicks. And Adams now goes to the foul line. That whistle was against Brian Quinnett. So Quinnett gets the personal foul.
And nothing going right for Michael tonight. He's just 2-11 from the field and misses his first free throw.
Handling the radio commentating, Hall of Famer Walt Clyde Frazier, the former Knick great. Starks blocked by Rasmussen.
Yeah, that was a great block by Blair because he pounded it into the floor and almost came away with the basketball, just trickling off of his fingertips out of bounds. We'll take another look at it. The block, and Blair almost got possession.
Oakley walks right in. 9 points now for Charles Oakley, and he is keeping the Knicks in front at this point. 3.5 to go. First half. Seven seconds for the Nuggets to shoot. Rasmussen, flick of the wrist, swish. Double figures for Blair Rasmussen, bouncing back after the off game against Minnesota. 1 for 8 and 4 points, a season low for Blair.
And a nice pick by Liberty on that play to keep Blair open.
Adams with a rebound. He turns and fires out. Sets up Rasmussen. Cook keeps it alive. And Liberty hits. 6 points for Liberty, who seems to be back in the picture. Knicks hold on to a 2-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
Two-man game between by Oakley and Cheeks.
Cheeks squeezes in and draws the foul. It is on Blair Rasmussen, the second on the Nuggets center. We'll take a look at watch Cheeks just looking for something to develop.
And he was looking to go back to Oakley the entire time, but Cook had the good angle, and so at the last minute he threw it up to the basket, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Cheeks is one of the prime and great examples of a player, point guard, who just lets the defense kind of direct him in what to do.
Absolutely, a veteran who's been around for a long time, and he knows exactly how to play the game. The physical skills might have deteriorated, but Maurice Cheeks certainly knows how to play this game of basketball.
That rebound ripped down by Joe Wolf, who now is the high rebounder in the ball game with 7. Jackson walks by for a beautiful reverse. Jackson pulling out the heavy artillery. 2 minutes to go in the half, and the Nuggets behind by 1. Mustaf swept away by Starks, and he hits on the turnaround.
And John Starks says, hey, I worked hard to come away with that offensive rebound. I'm going to reward myself with the shot. Finds nothing but net.
Jackson. This is Starks. He has Cheeks. Hustling back is Jerome Lane.
And we talked about the experience of Mo Cheeks and how he lets the action come to him. You saw the exact opposite by the rookie Chris Jackson that time. This was the previous play where he goes up and under Kenny Walker, but that last shot forced it a little bit.
John Starks hits the jumper as we come back live. 1:15 to go in the first half. And the Knicks with a 5-point lead. Starks makes the call, but the referee Mike Costabile says that's okay. I'll take care of that. And he gives it to the Nuggets. Jackson in the backcourt with Lichty, Wolf, Lane, and Marcus Liberty. And all the Nuggets are really huffing and puffing the late stage of this first half. Liberty. This will be a foul.
It's going to go.
Mustaf.
Yeah, it goes against Mustaf. That's his second personal foul. Joe Wolf had gotten good inside position, and Gerard with the push, and Wolf goes to the free throw line.
Coming up halftime tribute. We say goodbye to Walter Davis and take a look at the Nuggets close-up that was taped earlier in the season. And Drew will visit with the newest Denver Nugget, Greg Cadillac Anderson. Dan and I'll be back with the highlights and the stats of the first half. Joe Wolf sinks the 2 foul shots. He's a 90% foul shooter. And the Nuggets are 3 back.
And an unusual style. Joe doesn't look at the rim until right before he's ready to release the basketball. But if it works for you, that's what you have to do.
Unfortunately, Joe Wolf remaining in there and gets his 4th personal foul.
Well, nothing orthodox about Paul Westhead's style, but most coaches would not have a player still on the floor in the first half with 3 personals. There's the 4th one by Wolf right there. Joe will have to sit down, and now big foul problems for Coach Westhead. 2 players, Wolf and Reggie Williams, 4 personals at halftime.
Nuggets starting tonight with 9 players dressed. Kenny Walker will get one more shot.
You mentioned Kenny, somewhat of a disappointment when he first came to the Knicks, but he was asked to do things he couldn't do. He was a post-up player at the University of Kentucky, and all of a sudden he's in a Knick uniform and he's trying to play with him facing the basket, and tough transition for Kenny Walker.
Inside, Walker with the elbow to the back of Jerome Lane, so Kenny Walker gets his 3rd foul. With 41 seconds to go, John McLeod, will he keep Walker in there? I assume he will.
Well, Kenny certainly pleading his case with Coach McLeod, saying, I'm all right. I can make it through 41 seconds without picking up number 4.
That miss, Jerome drops under the 40% mark. He was 40 on the nose from the foul line.
Heading the wrong direction.
65-60. The Knicks by 5. 35 seconds and counting in the first half. Nuggets fast break. It's a 4-on-2. Adams. Liberty. 8 points in the first half for Marcus Liberty, and the assist to Michael Adams.
Great job by Michael. The Knicks didn't do a good job playing that fast break, and he split the seam when both defenders came to him. He dropped it off to Marcus for the easy shot.
Walker gets it back, but it leaves the Nuggets 7 seconds. Liberty nullifies the 2 by Walker. Bad mistake by Kenny Walker, shooting the ball too soon. Knicks had 18 seconds, and Jackson's just going to hold it out. So the Nuggets don't get burned on the last shot. Marcus Liberty, double figures in the first half. And Paul Westhead says good job to the rookie as he comes off with the Nuggets trailing the Knicks at halftime by 3.
At halftime, where the New York Knicks on the road lead the Denver Nuggets 67-64. The leading scorer for the Knickerbockers, how about this? Brian Quinnett with 15 points. For more on the first half, let's go over to Al and Dan. Gentlemen?
I think with that stat, that's enough said about the first half. Actually, the Nuggets fell down by as many as 11, then pushed forward in the second quarter. One thing we did see in that second quarter, Dan, some valuable time to the young players.
Yeah, Marcus Liberty's going to miss the shot here, but Anthony Cook keeps coming, and he slams in 2 of his 6 points. At the other end, John Starks might have charged right there, but he dishes off to Ewing. Ewing has 10. Jackson again coming up right here. A nice feed, the pick and roll. Jackson drops it off to Anthony for another slam. Nice pass by Starks ahead to Charles Oakley. 2 of Oakley's 9 points in the first half. Chris Jackson pretty impressive in the first half of play. A nice move here under the basket and back up for 2.
And right now, let's go to Drew Goodman, who's with the coach.
All right, Al, thanks very much. A new situation for you. You don't have a real go-to guy on the floor. What did you talk about at halftime?
Well, we just have to do it defensively. We got to make sure we give only one shot. We're going to block out, and we're going to push the ball and get the open court and try and get Reggie Williams in the open court and try and get Todd Lichty on driving to the basket.
Nice tie tonight, Paul. I like that. All right, good luck second half.
Meanwhile, the game has restarted, and Reggie Williams on the steal.
Well, Paul said he was going to get the ball to Reggie Williams. I don't think he thought the Knicks had the same idea.
And I don't even think Paul saw that first play. First half statistics, Nuggets taking 15 more shots than the Knicks. Knicks doing a job at the foul line. Page 2, Nuggets out-rebounding the Knicks. 12 offensive rebounds for the Nuggets. Turnovers are even, which is not a good indicator for Denver. Remember, the Nuggets playing with Williams, 4 personal fouls. Joe Wolf on the bench also with 4 personal fouls. Denver has just 9 players suited up here tonight. Patrick Ewing takes it in. Ewing has become almost automatic once he gets the ball and makes a move in that lane.
Well, he has been automatic tonight, Al. He's 5 for 5 now from the field.
Knicks come in with a record of 18-21. 3 games under the 500 mark. They rank as one of the big disappointments in the league this year. But they are now on a 3-game win streak, including 2 of those on the road in Philadelphia. Last night by 15 in Utah. Nuggets with a record of 9 wins, 30 defeats. But they have won 3 of their last 5 ball games. Saturday, await the arrival of Cadillac Anderson in uniform. Cook battling and still beats Ewing again, but just does not have the Midas touch inside. Williams with a block, and Williams is off and running with Adams. He has hit 1 3 tonight. Double team is Lichty. The opening minute and a half of the third period. Adams, nice move to get away, but Ewing comes over to make the block. He had 9 last night against the Jazz. Rasmussen throws it out to Adams.
Ewing went down hard on that play just now, back to his feet.
Adams steals and beats Ewing. The spunky Michael Adams staying right with it and pulls the Nuggets to within 1.
You better know where Michael is at all times. Cheeks looking down court that time, and Michael with the steal and the quick layup right in front of Ewing.
And this is going against New York. Could be on Ewing. If it is, it's his third, trying to get position.
That's exactly who it's against. He was cutting across the lane, and Todd Lichty in there with a double team, and Ewing with just the shove in the back and his 3rd personal foul.
Now gets a chance to take the lead. Last time they led was 2.5 minutes into the game. Cook with a left hand. Take that, says Patrick Ewing. Now it's Cheeks in a hurry. Squeezes by. And the trailer is Charles Oakley, and he's in double figures with 11. High scorer for the Knicks, Brian Quinnett. And Reggie Williams for the Nuggets. 15 points, 3 games gained by Denver. Adams does not try another three. Yes, he does. Sweeping it away is Oakley. And he finds Quinnett all alone. 17 points for Brian Quinnett, having his greatest game as a pro.
And with Oakley and Ewing on the boards, that other forward, Brian Quinnett, has the luxury of running out on those rebounds. And Brian all alone ahead of the field as his Cheeks on this play.
Cheeks bats it away and gets the basket. 11 points for Cheeks. The Nuggets were just 1 point away with the ball, ready to take the lead, but the Knicks have now scored 6 straight. 3 minutes into the second half. Lichty fires way off the mark, and now it is Oakley who sweeps it again. Oakley had only 1 rebound in the first half. A tough move by Ewing, and there it is, 6 for 6 for Patrick Ewing. 8 straight points for the Knicks. Nuggets were knocking on the door, and the Knicks just won't let them open it. Williams. Rasmussen with Ewing draped all over him.
And that time, Ewing and Oakley kind of looking at each other, expecting the other one to come away with the rebound, and Blair split him. Got the offensive rebound in the basket.
3 Nuggets in double figures. Williams 14, Rasmussen with 12, Oakley with 10. Cheeks draws the crowd. Nuggets hoping the foul's not on Williams. Joe Wolf with his 4 personals comes in to replace Blair Rasmussen.
And the foul was on Blair, and that's now his 3rd personal foul. So the foul problems continue to mount for Paul Westhead's Nuggets.
Maurice Cheeks 5 of 6 from the foul line. 86% foul shooter. 13th season out of West Texas State. Gerald Wilkins is back in the lineup.
And Wilkins checks in for Quinnett, so Gerald Wilkins will be playing that small forward spot.
Wilkins played only 7 minutes in the first quarter. 2 points, those from the foul line. Knicks, though, open up a 9-point bulge. Wolf banging with Oakley. Has nothing. Stays with it. Lichty and Williams fight one another, and the Knicks come up with it. Here is Gerald Wilkins, gets it back. The foul.
And what a great pass by Mo Cheeks on the wing. Just the touch pass. It barely hit his hand, and it was on the way back to Gerald Wilkins. Let's take another look at it. Wilkins gets it over to Cheeks. Well, look at this. Right back to Gerald. And he misses the lay-in, but he'll go to the free throw line. 79% free throw shoot.
Great effort by Cheeks. He doesn't get the assist out of it. And Wilkins still has a chance of scoring the 2 from the foul line. Chris Jackson is in. Todd Lichty goes out, and we haven't seen Kiki Vandeweghe since early in the ball game. Sitting on the bench, he has not even gotten in tonight, but he was dressed and on the bench early. Still having the problems, the bad back.
And now I don't even see him on the bench. I think he's gone to the locker room.
Cook made sure on that one. 8 points for Cook. Cook still developing in a long way offensively around the basket, but he's certainly making some strides.
He really is, and the only problem with Anthony is he gets in a little bit of a hurry when he gets that ball around the basket, and the shooter's touch keeps Patrick Ewing perfect from the field.
From our angle, when that left Ewing's hands, you say no way. But he's now a perfect 7 for 7 from the field. And a timeout has been taken. 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The Knicks have matched their biggest lead. Well, when it's going good for you, it's going good for you. Patrick Ewing hit his first 6 shots. Maneuvers for position. At the last moment, looks at the basket and hits. No, that's not the shot I thought it was.
Now that made him 6 for 6. Right. The last one going to the break didn't look like it was going to come close. It hit the rim a couple of times, and he's now 7 for 7.
The Nuggets had moved to within 1, 69-68, but they've been outscored 14-4 since that time. Jackson, the quick release, and now it's the Knicks on the run. Starting Nuggets with a fake. Oakley trying to go to work. Double team by Cook and Jackson, and they make it work for them. Oakley with a turnover. Now Adams rushing it down. Adams and Jackson back for the Nuggets together in the backcourt. Another steal by Cheeks. And he gets the steal and the basket. 15 for Maurice Cheeks.
Well, Coach Westhead had said that experiment was over, that Jackson would only be point guard, but with Walter Davis gone, Reggie Williams playing the small forward, Todd Lichty really still playing hurt. Jackson forced to play the 2 spot.
Just as the Nuggets were as close as they've been, they are now as far away as they've been tonight. 13 points behind. For 3. Michael Adams second from downtown tonight. 11 points for Michael Adams. And the Nuggets trail by 10.
Michael now the 4th Nugget in double figures with 11.
And that's number 5 on Joe Wolf. Nuggets may ask Cadillac to dress before this one is over.
They might have to give him his physical during the 3rd period. Get him in uniform. Blair Rasmussen quickly off the bench as Joe will have to sit down with the 5 personal fouls.
I don't know if it was the physical for Cadillac Anderson as much as the jet lag going from Milwaukee to the Nets to Denver all in 1 week. That is does not paint a good picture for the Nuggets. Now it's Rasmussen who comes back in with the fewer of the fouls. Ewing studies the basket. He's averaging 26 points a game along with 11 rebounds and 145 blocked shots.
And he's now perfect from the free throw line, so Ewing still hasn't missed a shot. 7 field goals and 4 free throws.
He has 18 points, 9 rebounds tonight. We have 5.5 to go in the 3rd. Rasmussen buries it. 14 points for Blair Rasmussen. Knicks lead it by 10. Second game of a 5-game road trip. They won by 15 last night in Utah. Pretty good send-off. They'll be in Phoenix Saturday, Golden State Monday, and the Clippers Tuesday. Adams bullets ahead to Williams. Williams stays with it. Triple team and fouled. And if it's on Ewing, it's his 4th.
That's exactly who it's against, and you can tell Patrick are not too happy. Ewing makes Williams change up that shot, hits the back of the rim, but Reggie stays right with it. Starks tries to tie it up. Patrick gives a little ground, and right there, the foul by Ewing.
Williams hits the first foul shot. Williams and Ewing, of course, teaming up at Georgetown for a national championship. Ewing goes out with the 4th personal foul. We'll see if this game, which has been playing like an accordion so far, comes a little closer. Reggie Williams at 21 points against Minnesota, 24 points against Charlotte, over 20 in 2 of the last 3 games, and he is 15 tonight. 87-78. The numbers are reversed, and it leaves the Nuggets 9 back with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 3rd. And this goes against the Knicks.
It's against Eddie Lee Wilkins, who was called for the moving block, trying to set a screen to pop Gerald Wilkins open, and Nuggets basketball.
And that worried look again on the face of John McLeod, who is now 14 wins shy of the coveted 700 mark in his 18-year career. Wilkins lets it fly. Way short. The block by Cook, and Starks on the follow. John Starks, an opportunist, 2nd year out of Oklahoma State. Adams draws the foul on Starks, his 3rd.
Well, Michael had the cleared side. He was the only Nugget on the right-hand side of the court, and I don't think John Starks is quick enough when there's no help to stop Michael Adams. Let's go down to the other end. Nice block by Anthony Cook right here, but just too many blue jerseys on the offensive boards, and John Starks scored.
Cook's second block shot of the night. He had 4 against the Knicks in New York, along with 15 boards. Pit stop for Reggie Williams. He's back in. And Chris Jackson goes to the bench with 6 points. 13 now for Michael Adams. Knicks lead it by 9. Nuggets full court pressure. We have not seen that yet tonight. Cheeks cannot throw it over the top. The long arms of Cook reaching up. Comes for 3. Got it. Third of the night for Michael Adams, and the Nuggets bouncing right back. They're 6 points behind.
And this is something we haven't seen very much of lately, the full court pressure, but the Nuggets bring it out against the Knicks right here, and it's successful once.
And twice, forcing the turnover. Question of whose leg it went off. Nuggets were down by 13. They have sliced it to 6. Jerome Lane replaces Anthony Cook. Nuggets with Adams and Williams, Rasmussen, Liberty, and Lane. Marcus Liberty with a stutter step, and it was too large of a step, says Dick Pavetta.
And if you get called for traveling in the NBA, you know he was a large stutter step.
3.5 minutes to go. The Nuggets try to work their way back into this one. Trailing by 13 moments ago. They're now 6 behind. Saturday night, the mailman delivers here at McNichols Arena. Carmelo and the Utah Jazz come to town. 5th leading scorer of the NBA, 28 a game, and he brings in such friends as Jeff Malone and John Stockton. Saturday night right here at McNichols Arena. Nuggets have sliced a 13-point deficit down to 6. Will get a chance to do some more damage.
Charles Oakley hit the boards hard. He's still down.
Liberty squeezes in, and the lead is down to 4. That's 12 points now for Marcus Liberty. The Nuggets have reeled off 7 straight points. 3 minutes left in the third. Al Albert along with the horse, Dan Issel at McNichols Arena. Down to 10 seconds to shoot. Nuggets doing this all after Patrick Ewing went to the bench with 4 personal fouls. Wilkins wheels and deals. Eddie Lee gets his first field goal. 91-85 in favor of New York. They have been in front just about all the way. Nuggets streaked out to an 11-4 lead in the first 3 minutes. Knicks, though, with a run, took over the lead and have been in front ever since.
Nice little spin move by Blair on the baseline. We've seen him do that time and time again, but he lost control of the ball, and that's a turnover for the Nuggets. They're 12th so far in the ball game. Chris Jackson checks in, and Michael will have a seat.
Knicks with 17 turnovers, and many of them have come in the last few minutes. 2.5 to go in this third quarter. Jackson and Williams with Lane, Rasmussen, and Liberty for Denver. Walker hits, showing Dan that he could face the basket.
That's the shot he's developed now, but that was something he could not do his rookie year.
10 points for Kenny Walker. The Knicks now with an 8-point bulge. Lane wheels on Wilkins and draws the foul. Number 3 on Eddie Lee Wilkins.
And Eddie Lee cannot believe it because Jerome just lowered the left shoulder and started for the basket. Took 2 or 3 steps before the dribble, but the foul on Eddie Lee. No free throws here. That's only the 3rd team foul against New York.
2:06 on the clock. Third period. Nuggets home Saturday against Utah. On the road Tuesday night against Danny Shays and the Milwaukee Bucks. That's a final. Houston rolling over Minnesota. Minnesota held under 100. Jackson and Maurice Cheeks doing a job on both ends of the floor. He goes coast to coast and will get to the foul line.
And there again is the experience. The Nuggets don't do a good job setting up this fast break defense, and Cheeks just splits Marcus Liberty and Reggie Williams. The foul goes against Marcus Liberty, and that is 4 on Liberty. So a number of big people in foul trouble for Denver.
Joins the club. 3 Nuggets with 4 or more. Reggie Williams has 4. 5 fouls for Joe Wolf. Cheeks turning back the clock tonight. 17 points for Cheeks. Jackson wheels. Near steal by Wilkins. Nuggets are down to 6 seconds on the shot clock. The force by Williams for three. Almost hit it. Regained by the Nuggets. Rasmussen to Jackson. 8 points for Jackson. 4 of 9 from the field. And the Nuggets are 8 back. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go in the third. Swept away by Blair Rasmussen. He's in double figures in rebounds with 10. It's a high rebounder in the game. Jackson, Nuggets getting a little out of control, but it's off of Walker's fingertips and out of bounds.
The toughest defensive rebound to come away with, Al, is the one that is off of an air ball or one that just grazes the rim, because you expect the ball to go up in the air. When it comes right straight down to you off of the shot, very difficult to control that.
A tip straight from the horse's mouth. Liberty slices through. Marcus Liberty having one of his better games in weeks. 14 for the rookie out of Illinois. And the Nuggets are just 6 points behind. Trent Tucker back in. Liberty knocks it away. Regain. 8 on the shot clock. Tucker on the line. Hits.
Todd Lichty did something right there you should never do. He ran away from the man with the basketballs, trying to get back to his own man defensively, especially when that man with the ball can shoot as well as Trent Tucker.
Jackson lets it fly. Got it. Chris Jackson in double figures with 10. It leaves the Knicks with the final 14 seconds. The dish to Wilkins for three. Nuggets in a hurry. 1 second. Jackson puts it up. Well, that shot he should have shot from the other foul line. He had so much on it. We go into the fourth quarter, and it's a 6-point game.
Hey Nuggets fans, Prime Sports Network and Budweiser have teamed up to make you a winner in the Budweiser 3-point shot game. We're giving you free Nuggets tickets plus PSN t-shirts. To win, follow these 3 easy steps. Send us your name, address, and phone number. Watch the Nuggets on Prime Sports. And if Dan or Al announce your name and the Nuggets score the first 3-point shot in the fourth period, you're a winner. It's just that simple, so send in those cards today.
Toe-to-toe boxing action on Prime Network.
He was named Athlete of the Decade for redefining excellence in hockey. Now available for the first time in home video, a collection of the greatest moments of his career. Wayne Gretzky, Above and Beyond.
It was religious for me. I never missed. It was like that was my enjoyment in life.
He wouldn't go around saying, well, I'm the best, I'm going to be the best. But he always just wanted to be the best.
Gretzky, he shoots, he scores! The National Hockey League's most valuable player, Wayne Gretzky! The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup! Gretzky has pulverized another National Hockey League record!
Promise Mess, I wouldn't do this.
To order your copy for $19.95 plus tax, shipping, and handling, call 1-800-942-6200 now.
Nugget fans, Prime Sports Network and Budweiser have teamed up to make you a winner in the Bud 3-point shot game. We're giving you free Nugget tickets plus PSN t-shirts. To win, send us your name, address, and phone number to this address, and if we announce your name and the Nuggets score the first 3-point shot in the fourth quarter, you are a winner. And tonight's contestant is, drum roll please, Brian Schwem from Cheyenne, Wyoming. So Brian, if you're watching on, the Nuggets get the first 3-pointer in this quarter, you are a winner, and it's in the right hands. Michael Adams, who has 3 of them already. 6-point lead for the Knicks entering the fourth, and Patrick Ewing is back on the floor for New York with the 4 fouls. Nuggets start with Adams and Lichty, Rasmussen, Cook, and Williams. Tucker, quick release. Walker dumped to the floor. Adams continues the dribble. Lichty, tough drive, and with a left hand, no. And snatched down by Ewing. Wilkins with the left hand. And bad news for Brian Schwem. Trent Tucker is on the floor for the Knicks.
Absolutely. That was a nice fast break by the Knicks right there, all triggered by the rebound by Patrick Ewing.
A minute into the fourth quarter. Nuggets have been knocking on the door but can't get in. Trailing by as many as 13. Down by just 1 in that third quarter. Williams a force, but he was pushed by Wilkins. And right now on the sideline, Drew Goodman along with Orlando Woolridge.
Yeah. All right, Al, thanks very much. Orlando, the obvious question is, how far away are you now?
Well, I think I'm a couple of weeks away. It feels good to go out there and start practicing with the team. Just get a chance to get my legs back, get my cardiovascular back. So, you know, talking with the doctors, I'm only a few weeks away, and believe me, I can't wait.
You know, I just asked you. I'd forgotten which eye it was. I couldn't tell. How's the vision right now?
Well, the vision's pretty good. The vision off in the distance is still a little blurry. But I'm at the point right now where everything is working well, but they just want it to heal. They don't want me to give a shot to the head or a shot to the body that might jar loose. But the vision's good. This is a frustrating part of the injury because everything else feels good, but I still have to wait.
All right, good luck, Go. Thanks much. There's the basketball. Dick Pavetta just gave it to you. Al, let's go back to you.
In the meantime, Reggie Williams hitting 1 of 2 foul shots. The Knicks with the ball, leading by 7. Ewing remains perfect. 20 points for Ewing, 8 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 4 from the foul line.
And I'll tell you, Patrick is testing that streak because that shot, a fall away jumper off of 1 foot, but they're all going in tonight.
Rasmussen against Walker. Ewing has 11 rebounds to go along with the 20 points. We haven't seen much of Brian Quinnett in the second half. Rasmussen got a piece of it. First miss by Ewing tonight. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Adams, 16 points. Slowly but surely, he is now the high man for the Nuggets, along with Reggie Williams. Rasmussen pulls the trigger. No. There's Williams. Great board.
And every Nugget that goes up with a shot inside is looking for Patrick Ewing out of the corner of his eye.
Ewing makes the move and will get to the foul line. It is foul number 4 on Blair Rasmussen.
And the starting forwards check into the game for the Knicks. Quinnett and Oakley back as Walker and Wilkins head for the bench. And there you see Patrick Ewing, 3rd in the NBA behind David Robinson and Akeem Olajuwon. 3.7 blocks a game.
Knicks will have the ball out. Mark Jackson in the backcourt along with Trent Tucker. Patrick Ewing up front along with Charles Oakley and Brian Quinnett. Quinnett, who has 17 points. His season high. Previous season high was 9. Making his 4th straight start, Brian Quinnett. Joe Wolf back in with the 5 fouls. Going to work on Oakley with the left hand. Cook with the left hand. Double figures for Anthony Cook. 10 points to go along with his 7 rebounds and a handful of block shots. 101-94 in favor of the Knicks, looking for their 4th straight win. Home and home beat Philadelphia. Last night beat Utah. Patrick Ewing, 22 points. He is now 9 of 10 from the field.
22nd timeout taken by Joe Wolf. I think he's got a contact dislodged, and Patrick Ewing not paying much attention to the defense of Joe Wolf the last couple of times. As soon as he's caught the ball, he's just turned and shot it. Larry Franca, trainer for the Nuggets, trying to locate the contact.
back at the other side of the floor, John McLeod with assistant Paul Silas, the former NBA great, one-time Denver Nugget. Patrick Ewing, who is ranked number 5 in the league in rebounding, right behind his teammate Charles Oakley. Blair Rasmussen has just recently dropped under the top 10, right there, around 10 rebounds a game.
And Blair, as you take a look at the fourth quarter field goal percentage, checks back into the game. Joe Wolf couldn't get the contact back in the 22nd timeout.
Williams for 3. And Cook behind Ewing almost kept it alive. 9.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. McLeod looking for the win, which will pull him just 1 under the 500 mark since taking over with the Knicks. 11 and 13 in the first 24 games. Tucker walked there, no call made, and here are the Nuggets on the run. Adams by Ewing. Crowd wants the goaltend, and a 3-on-1 for the Knicks. 4-on-1. Taylor Oakley, it will not count as Oakley pile drives into Reggie Williams.
And Reggie Williams is hurt. That took a lot of guts to stand in there and take that. Michael beats Jackson to the basket, but Ewing with the block. And the Knicks off to the other end. 4 Knicks touch this ball. Excuse me, 3 Knicks. Williams back on his feet, but he'll head for the sidelines as Chris Jackson comes in.
Reggie Williams lying on the floor, checking to see exactly where his nose was on his face after that shot. Now Jimmy Clark sees something happening inside. Makes the call against. Who's it against? He's against a Nick.
Tucker. Against Tucker for holding. Chris Jackson went over the top of the Anthony Cook screen, and Tucker holding on for dear life.
Adams. It's there. 4th three-pointer of the night for Michael Adams. Gives him 65 on the season. And Brian Schwem is a winner. There's Jackson for 3. Run down by Adams. But 3-point shot game. Brian Schwem wins as the Nuggets scored the first 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. Nuggets had a good opportunity there to trim it even more. 103-97. The Knicks holding on. 7:20 remains in the fourth. Tough pass. Ewing can't connect, but a whistle. And it's against. Let's see.
It's against Blair, and Blair can't believe it. They're going to say Blair pushed Ewing after the shot. Let's see if we can take another look at it. Jackson's going to lob it over the top. You see the hand right there in Ewing's chest, and I can't believe that they called that on Blair. The shot was already gone, but that is the 5th personal on Blair Rasmussen, and Ewing back to the free throw line.
Ewing has hit all 4 of his foul shots so far. Ewing, who actually blossomed offensively under Stu Jackson, who was fired this year. And now John McLeod trying to make a more concerted effort to get the ball inside to Patrick Ewing. When you consider tonight he has 23 points, but he's done it on only 10 field goal attempts. Hitting 9 of those. And he's 5 of 6 from the foul line. 23 points, 12 boards for Patrick Ewing. Knicks by 7. Adams for 3. Yes. No foul, although Adams went tumbling. Michael Adams has hit 5 3-pointers tonight and is now the high man for the Nuggets with 22. Denver just 4 back. And Cheeks gets the roll. That has been a very friendly rim for the Knicks. And very quietly, Cheeks, I think, is the star of the game for the Knicks.
I don't think there's any question about that, scoring an awful lot of points, 19, but in addition to that, doing a great job running the floor.
Jackson over Starks. Jackson over Starks. That's a goaltend. Patrick Ewing going upstairs. The ball was already down.
And the foul. The foul is on John Starks. And now the official's not sure about the goaltending call. Take a look at it. Yes, now they say the basket counts, and Jackson will go to the free throw line. Chris forces the first one, but follows up the miss, the foul by Starks, and the goaltending by Ewing.
And the timeout with 6:20 to go. Getting tight around the collar now. The Nuggets to within 4. They can reduce it to 3. But number 3 steps to the foul line.
Shine a light on you, shine a light on me. Keep your light shining for everyone to see.
Every day, more and more people are getting together over an ice-cold Bud Light.
Well, you can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Just keep your Bud Light shining. Bud Light, shine on.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Northern 3 Edwards 65.
6 months ago, this 12-year-old thought he was just out having a little fun. Where do you go before things get out of hand? He got help at a youth center. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
The Denver Nuggets, with their explosive offense and never-say-rest attack. No team and no NBA record is safe. Utah and Denver live, 9:30 Eastern, Saturday night on PSN.
Tomorrow night on the ice, DU versus Northern Michigan. Live college hockey. You'll see it right here on Prime Sports Network. 8:30 Central Time, 7:30 Mountain Time. The Pioneers against the Wildcats, facing it off tomorrow. Paul Westhead's team has continued to battle back. I think there's more Nuggets in street clothes on the bench than in uniform. So Bill Hanslick joins Randall Woolridge, Cadillac Anderson. Three-point play, an unusual one for Chris Jackson. And the Nuggets to within 3. Nuggets trailed by as many as 13 in the third. Remember, Denver wiped out an 18-point deficit Monday against Minnesota. Here the Nuggets off and running. 3-on-3, Jackson, coast to coast, dishes to Adams. Got it. Nuggets 1 point behind. Adams has 24. 5:52 and counting in the fourth quarter. Crowd alive. Nuggets haven't led since the first few minutes of the game. They go into Ewing, stuffed by Rasmussen. Patrick Ewing rejected by the Nuggets center.
Well, Patrick was getting away with this against Joe Wolf, but Blair can stay with him a little bit, and that was a pretty easy block. Ewing just turned and put the ball right in Rasmussen's face, but they're going right back to Patrick again.
And Rasmussen gets the rebound. Nuggets could take the lead. Adams drives and hits. Denver by 1. They have come all the way back. McNichols Arena erupts. Timeout taken by the Knicks. 7 straight points. They have been knocking and knocking at the door, and they finally slip through. 5:21 left in the fourth. The Nuggets lead the Knicks.
Everyone knows about my expansive vocabulary and the delineations I take with language. I went to electrocution school. So when I say the wrong thing at the right time, it's funny, but only because I'm in control. But if you're drinking and you start talking like me, then it's a good inclination that you're not in control, and that's not funny. You see, responsible drinking is as easy as knowing when to say the right thing at the right time, to know when to say when. And hey, even I could say that.
A reminder from Budweiser. Prime Sports Network presents the second annual Solomon Gold Rush Nordic Series. Participate in this year's 5-event series, including the 5K, 10K, and 20K races for all age groups. It's the second annual Solomon Gold Rush Nordic Series. Brought to you by Solomon, All Condition Gear, the official clothing supplier, Colorado Outdoor Sports, The Fox, Neptune Mountaineering, and Prime Sports Network.
Let's team up and show everyone we all have to care about clean air. Team up.
Join the Woodsy team.
Two outstanding defensive plays by Blair Rasmussen. He blocked Ewing the first time and then makes Patrick take a very difficult shot. He might have got a piece of that one. Comes away with the rebound, and the Nuggets are off to the other end. Michael's going to go all the way and gives the Nuggets a 1-point lead.
Denver got off to the quick start tonight, up 11-4, but the Knicks stormed back to take a 38-29 lead at the end of one. Knicks up 67-64 at the half, led by as many as 13 in the third. The 97-91 coming into this fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing saying, come on, he's fouling me all the time. He's holding me.
At this point, Al, the Nuggets have taken 28 more shots than has New York.
Nuggets like that. Oakley from afar, but Ewing gets position. 25 points now for Ewing, and the Knicks seesaw in front. In New York earlier in the month, the Nuggets took 26 more shots than the Knicks and lost by 27. Jerome Lane fights for the rebound. Jackson blocked from behind by Starks. There's Clement knocked away, but comes into the hands of Starks. Fires it out to Williams. 2-on-1. Williams has a goaltend. Starks interfering with the ball on the backboard. Nice jump by Starks, but didn't look like that ball was going in.
Reggie takes it all the way to the goal, and John Starks really gets off the ground, but the ball had hit the glass. An easy goaltend call for the officials.
The Knicks now with the ball. The Nuggets lead by 1. 4:20 to go. Nuggets have won 3 of the last 4 at McNichols, and a great save by Jackson. Peeling out is Adams, splitting through and hitting Michael Adams coast to coast after the great save by Jackson.
And the same thing happened in the Minnesota game Monday afternoon. The half-court defense of the Nuggets is turning this ball game around. New York wants another timeout. 22nd timeout this time, as the Nuggets have a 3-point lead, but almost a carbon copy of the last victory here. The half-court defense doing the job, and Michael Adams doing the job at the offensive end.
Weaving his way through. Adams had only 3 points after 1 quarter. He added just 3 more points in the second. 6 points at halftime for Adams. But he then scored 10 in the third and now has 12 more in the fourth. 28 points for Adams, 22 of them coming in the second half.
Well, New York this entire fourth period have been trying to get the ball inside to Patrick Ewing, but Blair Rasmussen just doing an outstanding job defensively, not giving any ground, keeping Ewing out there. Oakley with the shot, and Ewing kind of falls into the offensive rebound.
4 minutes on the nose left in the fourth quarter. Spins off the pick from Oakley. Darting in is Wilkins. He draws the foul. Wilkins gets a shot to the head. And that's number 5 on Reggie Williams.
That last stat that you saw, something you wouldn't expect. We'll take a look at this replay. Wilkins misses the shot badly, but the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line. The Knicks with the 4th and 5th leading rebounders in the entire NBA, and the Nuggets have 14 more offensive rebounds than New York.
The Knicks 28 of 33 from the foul line compared to the Nuggets, who are 14 of 19. The 2 former teammates from the Hoyas exchanging pleasantries. Patrick Ewing Happy that Reggie Williams may have finally found a home after 3 cracks at it.
The Nuggets have to make sure now, Al, they just don't stand around and let Michael take over the offense.
Well, Chris Jackson, last 2 shots questionable from afar, tough situations. 111-110. The Nuggets still lead by the 1 point. 3.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Cheeks. Wolf playing Ewing and getting the rebound. Here's Jackson again. Swish. Taking on 2 of the Knicks inside. 15 points for Chris Jackson. Westhead going with Adams and Jackson down the stretch. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left. And the Nuggets by 3. Wolf playing with the 5 fouls, defending against Ewing. Patrick Ewing putting on a show. 27 points, 7 of 14 from the floor.
That's a travel. Tough turnover right there by Reggie Williams. He's trying to plead his case to Dick Bavetta, but to no avail.
And it wipes out the field goal, which would have given Williams 20 points and the 20 mark for 3 of the last 4 games. He goes to the bench now, replaced by Jerome Lane. Ewing gets some attention, and if the foul's on Wolf, he is gone.
That's exactly who it is against. We'll take another look at it. The Knicks going to Ewing every trip now, and Ewing leans in, throws the ball back out to Mo Cheek. So no free throws here. Joe Wolf, 4 points for the evening. Tough defensive assignment going against Patrick Ewing.
Also 9 rebounds for Wolf. 14 fouls on the Nuggets. The Knicks have 3 coming into the final 2.5. Collapse on Ewing, and lead Starks open. Misses. Swept away by Jerome Lane, who has 9 rebounds. Adams gets caught, and now it's the Knicks on the run, looking for the lead. Wilkins stops and pops and throws it. Air ball by Wilkins. Rolling out is Adams. For 3. Lane tried the stuff, and the Nuggets still get it back. 2 minutes on the nose to go. Jerome had hit that. He would have brought this place down. Nuggets getting the breaks on this possession. 16 for Rasmussen. Again, the Nuggets by 3. And again, the Knicks call a timeout. That was a charmed possession for the Denver Nuggets. There's Cadillac Anderson getting into it, patting his new teammates on the back. There's the time. There's the score. We'll be right back.
For the man who really loves his golf.
Saturday night, Utah Jazz with Carl and Jeff Malone. John Stockton come to town. You can reserve your seats by calling 893-DUNK or 893-3865. Saturday night, 7:30 start right here at McNichols Arena. The Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. Well, the Nuggets with several possible turnovers on this possession, but they still come away with 2. And a tough shot by Blair Rasmussen. Nothing but net. .16 for Rasmussen, who comes off a season low of 4 against Minnesota. And a minute 51 to go. Nuggets hanging on to a 3-point lead.
And what the Nuggets have to make sure they do now till the end of the game is limit the Knicks to just 1 shot.
Shot each possession.
Correct.
They limited him 1 shot the rest of the game. They'll be in good shape. Well, that's a shot they'd like to see him take. Only the 2nd field goal of the night for Gerald Wilkins. 1-point lead for the Nuggets.
Well, the Nuggets back in the middle defensively. They're not going to let Ewing or Oakley beat them. They're going to make the outside people beat them.
The Knicks tightening up on their half-court defense. Fakes right, goes left is Jackson. Runs out of room. Nuggets, though, retain possession. 1:22 remaining. And a full 24-second clock reset. Reggie Williams is back in, replacing Jerome Lane. And Jerome really coming back in fine fashion tonight. 11 rebounds and working hard inside.
At least half of those 11 rebounds or more off of the offensive glass.
Holding was Wilkins on Jackson. And Jimmy Clark finds that, but that's only the 4th foul on the Knicks, not a shooting foul. Nuggets have the ball out again, full 24 seconds, 1:19 left. Knicks have been held to just 17 points in this 4th quarter. Knicks forcing the Nuggets deep. Williams takes it in. There's Cook. Rasmussen punches it up. Scampering forward is Ewing. 1 minute to go, and the Knicks now with a chance to move in front. Everybody looking for Ewing. He misses. Snatched by Rasmussen. He gets his 15th rebound of the game. Adams brings it back out. Rasmussen, 16 points, 15 boards.
And the Nuggets can afford to take some time off the clock now, but get a good shot.
Rasmussen, swish. Sensational finish for Blair Rasmussen. And it gives the Nuggets a 3-point bulge with 25 seconds to go. What a night for Rasmussen coming on. 18 points, 15 rebounds, battling Ewing toe-to-toe.
Michael with the penetration, dishes out to the corner. Blair sets up. Good release, good rotation. We'll take another look at it. You see the penetration by Michael creates the shot as Oakley has to take a couple of steps in the middle. Blair doesn't get in a hurry. Make sure he gets off a good shot. And the Nuggets have a 3-point lead.
The Nuggets talking defense, wondering if they will be seeing Trent Tucker coming in for the final 25 seconds. The Knicks need a 3-pointer.
But there's still enough time with 25 and a half seconds to go. The Nuggets cannot only look or only defend the 3-point shot because the Knicks really don't use the 3-pointer a lot. In fact, Michael Adams has taken almost as many 3-pointers as the entire Knick team this year. Michael has 221 3-pointers attempted. The Knicks only 227. They've made 70 of them, but the Knicks have enough time here. They could get a quick 2-pointer. So the Nuggets have to defend both the inside and the outside.
Trent Tucker does take off the warm-up jacket. He is at 23 of 54 from downtown. The only other Knick who has hit in double figures in 3-point land is not playing tonight. Kiki Vanderway has also hit 23 of 58. John Starks has hit 9 this year out of 39. He's another threat. There is Tucker, followed by Starks. Maybe Kiki will come out of the locker room for this. There's the time remaining. Nuggets hanging tough, trailing by as many as 13 in the 3rd, coming back to turn it on the Knicks.
This could very well be a decoy, though. They could be putting Tucker in the game and still be going inside to Ewing for the quick 2-pointer.
Oakley will put it in play. Jerome Lane is following Tucker. Gets a good pick from Ewing. And Ewing will take it in. Convincing stuff by Patrick Ewing. 19 seconds to go. Adams will try to get fouled. Almost lost it. He's in trouble. And there he is, fouled. Shooting foul, right? He almost put it in. But it will leave the Knicks at worst in the same situation. Even if Michael hits the 2 foul shots, they get the ball back with enough time, 12 seconds, and down by 3.
And Tucker and Ewing right there discussing the last play because Ewing was trying to set the screen for the 3-pointer, but then takes off for the monster jam. But 2 made free throws by Michael, and the Knicks will need the 3-pointer to force the game into overtime.
Second miss from the foul line tonight for Adams in 5 attempts. Monday night he had 6 of 6 in the last 2.5 minutes to help beat Minnesota. The Knicks will take a time after this one. Michael has some help in the stands. Well, now it gives the Knicks an opportunity of going for the two, especially with Patrick Ewing on the floor and tying it up. Timeout taken, and John McLeod diagramming.
Now, if this was Doug Moe coaching the New York Knicks, having played last night in Utah, he would right now shoot the three-pointer and win or lose the basketball game. I don't think John McLeod has that same type of mentality. It looks, I'm almost positive, McLeod will go for the two-pointer to tie this game up and force it into overtime. But both options available to McLeod and his staff.
He may be more successful getting the three-pointer by going into Ewing, making the shot, and Ewing getting fouled.
Well, you're absolutely right, because this entire fourth quarter, the Nuggets have really jammed the middle defensively, inviting the Knicks to beat them from the outside.
Nuggets by 2, 12 seconds to go. And a chance to remind you that tomorrow night we move from the hardwood to the ice. DU versus Northern Michigan. You'll see it live right here on Prime Sports Network, starting at 8:30 Central Time, 7:30 Mountain Time. Nuggets will be using one of those timeouts should the Knicks leave them with any time after a basket.
Well, one advantage the Nuggets have right here, good overplay defensively. The Knicks will have to inbound the ball. If the Nuggets do a good job overplaying, the Knicks don't have the luxury of taking the timeout and going back to the drawing board. So whatever the Knicks do, they'll have to do it right now.
Defensively, the Nuggets with Adams and Williams, Lane, Cook, and Rasmussen. The Knicks, Oakley inbounding. He has Ewing, Starks, Tucker, and Cheeks. So three guards in there. There's Tucker, who's a threat for three. It goes to Ewing, double team. And he almost had that three-point opportunity. Gets fouled, but didn't make the basket. And now the pressure on Ewing. He must sink two to tie it up. And that's it for Rasmussen. Nuggets really hope this doesn't go to overtime because they don't have any centers left. Rasmussen joins Wolf on the bench. They've both fouled out.
And
so
the Nuggets got a real break there because that shot went about halfway down in the basket, and Ewing could very easily be standing up there to give the Knicks the lead. But one good thing, the Knicks with the quick shot left the Nuggets plenty of time, 7.5 seconds to go. So even if Ewing makes both of these, the Nuggets are still going to have a chance to win the game.
74% foul shooter is Ewing. He made his first 5 tonight, missed his last one. And he's sweating it out at the foul line.
We've got a problem at the scorer's table. John McLeod up there trying to help out Dick Bavetta. He seems to be satisfied, and so Ewing will go to the line.
And the Nugget fans will try to give him a boost. All Ewing could do now is bring the Knicks to within 1, or he may want to smash the ball off the backboard and try to get the offensive rebound. And I believe Coach Westhead will call a time and talk about just that right now. So Patrick Ewing, 29 points tonight, but comes up short at the foul line when he needed 2.
Well, the big advantage that the Nuggets have right now, besides the obvious one, the fact that they have a 2-point lead and the Knicks only have one more free throw. But if the Knicks would foul the Nuggets immediately, the Knicks have no more timeouts, and so they wouldn't be able to call timeout and advance the ball to half court. So the Nuggets really in a nice spot right now, just assuming that they can inbound the ball after this free throw by Ewing.
Tonight it's the Nuggets against Patrick Ewing. And Saturday night another superstar of the NBA, Karl Malone, comes into the parkade floor of McNichols Arena. The Nuggets against the Jazz. Saturday night starting at 7:30. You can Reserve your tickets by calling 893-DUNK or 893-3865. The Nuggets and the Jazz, that's right here Saturday night. Paul Westhead now covering several options after this Ewing foul shot.
Just dribble it out for us. Dribble it out for us.
And that's exactly what Westhead was covering right there. The biggest point right now for the Nuggets is after this free throw, they have to get the ball inbounds. If they do that, they're in great shape, and that's exactly what Paul was diagramming.
And the Nuggets also have to make sure that they cut off Patrick Ewing at the foul line. He may try to send that ball hard off the rim or off the backboard to get the ball back. That's actually one of the only options that the Knicks have. Unless they go for the foul shot, inbounds, foul right away in an attempt to steal. Well, he went for the foul shot. Now the Nuggets looking to inbounds. Michael Adams is wide open, and he is fouled right away. It'll still leave the Knicks with 6 seconds. And Michael faces the same situation as the last time, a 1-point lead with 2 foul shots. Last time, he made 1 of 2. Patrick Ewing with that foul shot has 30 points to go along with 16 rebounds. So not a bad exchange for John McLeod. He'll still get the ball back with 6 seconds to go. Now we'll see what Adams can do.
Well, remember, no timeouts for the Knicks, and so they're going to have to inbound the ball and go the length of the court to attempt this 3-point shot.
Adams comes back to can the 2. He has 30. Tucker blocked by Williams. They'll call the foul.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's all right. Although it did look like Reggie got all basketball, and that's 6 personals on Williams.
The 3rd Nugget to foul out. It leaves 1.6 seconds. And a Nugget 3-point lead. Michael Adams with those 2 foul shots, the high man in the game with 31. And Reggie Williams, another standout effort for the Nuggets. 18 points in his last 6 games. He's been averaging 17, 18 points per ball game. A pleasant surprise and pickup for the Nuggets. Now Starks will have a couple of shots. A 67% foul shooter. Trailing by 3.
And what the Knicks really needed there was for Starks to make that first one and intentionally miss the second one. That takes all the options away right now, and John will have to shoot this one.
Liberty cuts it off, and the Nuggets have beaten the Knicks. The Denver Nuggets, high fives and hugs all around, split the season series with New York. Come back from a 13-point deficit in the 3rd quarter. You see they acquired Cadillac Anderson, and already they're making great strides. The Knicks held to 20 points in that 4th quarter. Nuggets trailed by 6 coming in and win it by 3. And Denver has now won 4 of the last 5 at home.
And they've won the last 2 games because of outstanding half-court defense in the 4th quarter. A team who was maligned very badly at the beginning of the year because of their defense now have won the last 2 games because of it.
And now it is time for the LA Gear Unstoppable Play of the Game, brought to you by LA Gear, unstoppable in high performance.